Hi guys, I'm Soumya and today I'm going to talk about the university life. So, I am a master's student at the ANU and this is my last semester, so I'm due to graduate in July this year, and I'll have my exams in June, and then I'll be free for a while, and then I'll have my convocation in July sometime, and then after that I'll be officially a graduate. And yeah, so hopefully I'll apply for a temporary residency here, which is, so if you're a master's student here, you're allowed to at least stay back for the next 2 years after your master's degree ends. So that's that. And I came in here, I came in Canberra in 2017. And in order to get accepted at the ANU, what I did was, firstly, I applied for the course. And even before that, I actually, okay, so I'll start with the very, basic stuff. So what I did initially was that I actually decided which country I wanted to go to. Now, my parents wanted me to go to the US, the place for the studies and for getting a job and stuff like that. So my parents literally wanted me badly to go to the US. But then I was like, I want to go to Australia because Australia is there's plenty of job opportunities here, and yeah, so the engineering market here in Australia is kind of still growing, and it hasn't reached its boom at this point, so there's still scope for us engineers here. So that's the main reason that I want to come to Australia. And so then I applied in, so initially for a few universities there's a fee that they charge for, like the application fee for the forms, and there's these other universities who do not really charge a fee. So basically what I did was I shortlisted the country I wanted to go to study in, and then I applied to several unis. Not several, I only applied to two. So one was the ANU and the other was RMI. And after that I went to Delhi to meet my sister, and then while I was in Delhi I got a call from the ANU. I was offered the Masters in Engineering course, and the course that I applied for was Digital Systems and Telecommunications, which was very close to the course that I had done my bachelor's in. So I have a bachelor's degree in engineering, majoring in electronics and communications. So, this particular course was the closest to my bachelor's major, so that's the main reason that I applied for this course. And then they accepted me. And even before applying to the universities, what I did was I gave IELTS. So IELTS is basically an English exam. So they basically test your English reading, writing, speaking and listening skills. So how good you are in speaking in English language, reading the language, listening to the language and writing in the language. And my overall score was 8. And the Australian National University is the #1 institute in Australia, and it is a government funded institute. It has been there for over 100 years now. So yes, and there, according to me, like from whatever I've read so far about the Australian National University, I believe that they not only consider your IELTS score, but they consider your overall score starting from the grade 10. So you have to score well in grade 10, you have to score well in grade 12, you have to score well in your graduation, like each and every semester you have to score well, and then you have to be an overall at least a distinction. Now in Australian education system, distinction means you have to be at least above 75%, at least, overall, starting from grade 10 to 12 to graduation and stuff. And yes, so that is a huge driving factor of whether or not you get an offer at the university or not. That's one thing. And then second is your IELTS score, and the third and the most important thing is your recommendations. Listen, nobody's going to recommend you unless you're a good student, okay? So you have to score well, you know, be in good books of several teachers who've got their grasps in, you know, such areas and stuff. So you have to be hardworking. I'm not saying that I'm very hardworking, or I mean, I'm not boasting about myself here, but I'm just telling you what you need to do if you want to get admitted to, you know, the ANU, if that's your dream. In professional language, these recommendations are called the letters of recommendations. So teachers actually recommend you to get admitted in these kind of universities. Recommendations play a major role in you getting admitted to a nice university. So that's that. And then after I was offered the course, I had to accept it. So in order to accept it, I had to fill up this form, which I did, and then I had to pay a particular amount of the fee. So then there was this loan process that we underwent, and then we got myself an education loan. Now we went with the Punjab National Bank, because the Punjab National Bank has recognized the Australian National University amongst the top 10, I think, or top 13, I guess, but I'm not sure. So that's why they allowed us, they told us that the interest that we had to pay was around 8%, and usually the interest that they charge for students going abroad was around 13 point something percent. So yes, a loan sanctioned from the Punjab National Bank, and then I paid I paid the rest of the fee, and then I came here in August 2017 for my first semester. Now the first semester was a complete shock. The education system here is completely different from the education system in India. Now one major difference that I definitely want to point out is that in India, so most of us in India, we go to the university, we have fun, and then there's exams. So this is my story, okay? This is what I used to do back in India. So I used to have fun all of for the entire semester, and you know, bunk lectures and go out with two of my most best girlfriends and, you know, do stuff. And when the exams approached, what I used to do, I used to pull all-nighters, and I used to study for like 48 hours, 36 hours straight, and I'm not even joking when I say this. I used to study, I used to literally mug up everything, every line in all the books in the course, and then I used to score well. I've scored 99 on 100 in one of the subjects in BTech, like Bachelor's of Technology, pursuing electronics and communications. So yes, in case any of you needs a proof, I can give you that. So I'm not lying, okay? So yes, so that's the culture in India. I mean, that's something that I used to follow in India, and here it's the complete opposite. I study for the entire semester, and then all I'm able to, you know, pull off is a maximum of an 80 on 100, like a maximum. If I die, if I just die studying like the entire semester, then I'll be able to pull an 80, which is considered a high distinction here, which is the most that you can score here. So yes, here I'd say that the education system is more application specific. So they wouldn't want you to cram up all the formulas and stuff. They'll allow you the cheat sheets in the exams. The cheat sheets mean that, say for instance, I've got this X courses exam, okay, and it is like an exam specific to my course, like a core course. So now what they do is that they'll allow me to bring 2 A4 sheets, and they'll allow me to write whatever shit I want to, write on those two piece of papers, and then bring it with me to the exam hall. Now, uh, I mean, why they allow this is because they believe that when we reach the level where we are in actual job scenarios, they believe that we wouldn't actually have to mug up all the formulas, and we wouldn't need like all the crammed up formulas in our head. What's important is how I use my brains and how I get to the point where I know what formula to apply where, and what application will require what, technique or whatever. So this is the kind of education system here, which I really, really appreciate. I think that I really needed something like this in my life, because until the time I came here, I never really felt the need to actually apply my brains. Since the time I've come here, I used to be so scared of coding before I came here. Even though I was an electronics and communications engineer, but by, going by my degree, I really didn't know anything about coding and stuff. And since the time I've come here, starting from the semester 1, I had to do MATLAB, and then there was PSpice, and then there's a bit of Python in one of the courses, and then there's a lot of MATLAB. They actually make you apply the concepts, so you actually learn how to apply your brains and apply the knowledge that you get during the lectures. So yes, that's the uni life. And then talking about the life in general here as a student, I'd say that okay, it is definitely not easy. Okay, that is something worth knowing. So if you're planning to go abroad for studies, prepare yourself, because firstly, loneliness is going to hit you. Aussies are great. They're very friendly, they're awesome, and they're very friendly to just describe them in a word. But the thing is that once you come here, specifically if you're going for an engineering course, you won't see many Australians there, I'd say, because in my course, majorly there's Chinese people, and there's Indian people, and then there's a very few Australian people, okay? Let's just say that. So you'll be able to interact with a lot of people, that is for sure. But if you want to make friends, make sure that you choose the campus accommodation, and you do not choose to find an accommodation by yourself. And so when I first came here, I booked myself an Airbnb, which charged me around 13,000 rupees, which is around $200 something in Australian currency, for like 3 days or something. And then my plan was to come here, stay in the Airbnb, and then find myself an accommodation. And then once I came here, I tried finding myself some accommodation, and as of now I'm good. And yeah, so that's that. So that was basically it wasn't really anything specific. It was just me telling you bits and bits about how the uni life, how you should prepare yourself for the uni life, and if you're planning to apply to go and study abroad. It was basically just me sharing my story. So that's that. And after this, what I'm going to do is that I'll share with you a few clips of me in the uni, and you'll be able to see what it's like. It's basically a virtual witness kind of thing. So you'll be able to witness through my eyes or my camera lens what it's like to be in the ANU. So yes, enjoy!
Thank you.
Yep, all good.
Thank you.